There is little in life more disappointing than having the target of your desire snatched from your grasp at the last moment. Alex knew that feeling all too well. The third time was not the charm, as the saying would have one believe. Neither were the fourth, fifth, or sixth. Alex smoothed her jumpsuit. It was a copy of the ones worn by everyone else around her, made smaller and shaped to fit her. The cool grey of the jumpsuit clashed with her warm, golden brown skin, reddish brown hair, and bright brown eyes, but she'd gotten used to it. "Are you okay, little one?" The querent wore a matching jumpsuit, though half a metre taller, with 6 sleeves that decreased in size from the top pair to the bottom, heavily sloped shoulders, and a collar that would look at home on an alpaca. The creature that filled out the jumpsuit had pale blue skin under a thick layer of grey-white vellus hair. Large, oval, compound eyes reflected the light from the windows like a finely cut gem. "You can't call me that anymore, girler." Alex crossed her arms in an exaggerated huff. "I'm an adult now. I don't know for sure, but I guess I'm 21 or 2 in Earth years." "Yes, but I'm still bigger than you." "Not fair. I'm tall for a human, especially a human woman, but you'll always be taller." "I'll always be older as well." Gerla petted Alex's hair with one of their top hands. "You'll always be the baby that was dropped off with me by the scout mission." "Baby nothing. I was 7 and tending a flock of sheep by myself." Alex sighed. "I guess I should be grateful that they brought me here instead of straight to the labs." "Almost as grateful as I am," Gerla said. Alex hugged the creature. "Quit being so sweet, Gerla. I'm trying to be mad at you for calling me little." "You can be mad at me after the hearing. We'll have time for it then." Gerla moved one compound eye close to Alex's face, and the nictitating membrane closed and opened over it. Alex recognized it as always coming before a serious question. "What is it?" "Why are you still trying?" the creature asked. "What do you hope to gain? Freedom to return to your home?" Alex shook her head. "This is my home, here with you and all my friends. I can't even remember what my mother or father looked like, or the name of the hills where we lived." "Then why?" Alex stepped back from Gerla and spread her arms. "What do you see when you look at me?" "I see Alex." "No!" She cut them off. "When you really look at me, you see a human, the only one on this planet. At least the courts have finally decided I'm sapient, after completing all the normal schooling a Thorian child will receive, and learning all the official languages of Sular. Still not a citizen, though. Still an orphan, as they won't let you legally adopt me." She dropped her arms to her sides, and a hardness overtook her face. "This is my last chance, the final appeal. I've overcome every obstacle they've thrown in my way, just for them to find new, inventive ways of denying me this last simple thing." "A finding from the court means nothing," Gerla said. "It also doesn't matter that we share no DNA. You are my progeny, and I am your progenitor. Forever and always," Alex finished. "But this is important to me." Gerla put an arm around Alex's shoulders. "I'm behind you all the way." Alex nodded and checked the time on the wall display. "We're up." The heavy white doors opened with a soft hiss, and Alex marched into the courtroom, head held high. She stood at the tall bench, which reached her armpits. A bailiff brought over a small step for her, so she would be tall enough to talk into the microphone, and she accepted it with a polite smile. Unlike the other appeals, as she worked her way up in the system, this courtroom was packed with spectators. There was a steady murmur that spread through the crowd as she entered, and continued until the bell of court rang and brought them all to their feet. The judges entered and sat at their bench, above the courtroom, where they looked down on the proceedings. The bell rang again, and the spectators sat. The attorney for the state tilted their head towards Alex, and slowly closed and opened their nictitating membranes. Alex returned the silent greeting as best she could, with a head tilt and slow blink. The lead judge spoke. "We are gathered to hear the case of Alex, semi-sapient specimen, petitioning for Solari citizenship. Is that correct?" The state's attorney made no move to correct the judge, so Alex herself did. Your Honours, the District of Cormier Court declared me fully sapient and capable of entering into legal contracts over 4 revolutions ago. State's attorney, is this correct? One of the other judges asked. It is, Your Honours. You would do well to keep your motions up to date. Seeing that this appeal was filed 2 revolutions ago, the state had ample time to update their position. The lead judge flipped papers with their lowest, smallest hands, while their upper hands formed the pose for a query. Given that the state's initial position was based on the plaintiff's status as a semi-sapient, am I to take it that your arguments are all based on that as well? No, Your Honours. Our arguments are valid regardless of the findings of the lower court on plaintiff's sapience. Very well. The court will hear the plaintiff's arguments first. The 4 judges looked toward the plaintiff's bench, and the one closest to that end raised their upper hands in query. Are we to understand that you are representing yourself, here, in the highest court in the land? I am, Your Honours. If you would indulge us, why? Alex tilted her head. The reasoning for that will become clear in my arguments, Your Honours. Very well. Proceed. I would first like to say that, contrary to the state's fears, I do not plan on attempting to return to the planet of my origin and providing advanced technology to a savage world. Objection. Assumption of motive, the state's attorney called out. Sustained, the head judge said. Please stick to the facts. Alex smiled. I call your attention to plaintiff's evidence, items 1 through 4. These are the rejection letters for my adoption from the Enclave, city, district, and state. In every one of them, the stated reason is that I may, and I quote, return to the planet of origin and provide that savage world with advanced technology, end quote. The state's attorney seemed to shrink. Alex knew how old those documents were, and as she'd only found them after the last lost appeal, buried within the mountain of discovery her last attorney had largely ignored, was certain that they hadn't thought they would be brought up. Which brings me to the point of self-representation. Besides missing these documents in discovery, my previous attorney was too expensive to continue with. Having no rights as a citizen, I can't work to earn money. Being unable to support myself, I am, as an adult, still as reliant on Gerla, my state-appointed guardian, as I was a child. Alex looked at each of the judges in turn as she spoke. I was brought here by a scouting party as a biological sample 18 revolutions ago. I did not come of my own volition. I did not volunteer, and I am not a refugee. I am, however, in every other sense, an orphan now. I don't remember much of my family on Earth, or even Earth itself. She took a deep breath. If not for Gerla, I would likely have been dissected long ago. They taught me the languages of Solari, how to read and write, and everything I needed to know to get by in Thorian society, except for how to turn into a Thorian. She swallowed hard. In the Solari Constitution, citizenship is offered to every person, no matter where born, by naturalization of 12 revolutions. I remind the court, I have been here for 18 revolutions. It is arguable that when that was written, 1,218 revolutions ago, person meant only Thorin. As of 209 revolutions ago, though, that no longer holds true. This court, in the case of the Senate versus Senator Burla, found that any sapient is entitled to the same protections offered to persons in the Constitution. If that truly is the case, why, historically, has that extended only to protection against abuse and not protection against disenfranchisement? I would like to also call your attention to the Solari Book of the Law, Volume 400, Section 3482.9, Paragraph 2. Pursuant to galactic trade laws, Sula will make no law nor finding that is in violation of the galactic rights of sapients, as ratified on the 7th day of Revolution 3012. The galactic rights of sapients, number 8, which has remained unchanged since then, states, any sapient who is unable to return to their home world or another world of their species shall be considered stateless. No member state of the galactic trade may refuse citizenship to a stateless sapient on request. The state has already made it clear that I cannot return to my home planet, and my species only has the one. As such, the quoted laws make the state's actions illegal and unconscionable. Tears began to pool in her eyes. Your Honours, I have no illusions about my position. In time, Gerda will grow old and feeble, no longer able to work. The state will provide for her retirement, but that retirement doesn't cover feeding, clothing, and housing me. Further, that retirement is only the barest of essentials. Gerda has been a parent to me and taken care of me the majority of my life. I'm just asking for the right to take care of them in their old age. As a citizen and as their lawfully adopted progeny, I can do that. As a biological sample that happens to be sapient, I can't. Alex wiped her tears. Thank you, Your Honours. Nothing more. She'd done her best, taken her best shot. Now it was down to the state's attorney and the judges. Alex listened to the state's attorney hem and haw over reasons why she shouldn't be allowed citizenship. When it turned, inevitably, to travel to Earth with all the dangerous technology of the Thorans, she couldn't help but roll her eyes. Finally, the state's attorney ran out of steam, and the judges left the chamber to discuss and make their decision. This was the part she hated the most. The waiting. The wait was short, the judges returning in a matter of minutes. The lead judge said, I have some questions for the plaintiff. Yes, Your Honour. Alex's heart fell. This didn't feel like it was going to be good news. How many of your previous attorneys brought up the original rejection letters? None, Your Honour. And how many of them brought up the Solari Constitution, specifically naturalization? One, Your Honour. And did that one bring up the Senate versus Senator Burler? No, Your Honour. They tilted their head. And how many of your attorneys brought up the Galactic Rights of Sapiens and Legal Section 3482.9, paragraph... They flipped through their notes. Paragraph 2. None, Your Honour. Where did you study law? In the law library of District of Cormia. Gerda was kind enough to escort me there every spare moment for the last 2 revolutions, so I could prepare for this. No formal schooling? One of the other judges asked. No, Your Honour. As a non-citizen, I'm not entitled to free education, and on Gerda's salary there was no way we could afford it. The lead judge took over again. If given citizenship, you mentioned you want to work. What kind of work would you do? Alex shrugged. Anything. I'll tend livestock, scrub floors, anything. They tilted their head again. Have you considered a career in law? Not until this moment. The judges whispered among themselves, then the bell rang again. The judges stood, and the spectators stood as well. It is the finding of this court that the plaintiff has neither the motive nor the means to return to their home planet. As such, the state has violated Solari law, section 3482.9. Plaintiff is awarded full citizenship immediately, and the rejection of the original adoption request is hereby overturned. The lead judge raised their upper hands in query. Is your adoptive progenitor here today? Yes, Your Honour. One of the bailiffs will escort you to my office, where I will be honoured to perform your swearing-in ceremony and sign your adoption decree. As a citizen, I would highly recommend law school, and I hope to see you here again in the future, representing someone else.